Navara listeners, I'm here with my dear friend, Phil Baratz, president of Angus Energy. He's one of our clients. He's also someone that anytime I have a question about anything in this industry, I call Phil because he usually has the answer. Phil, we're at NPGA 2026. We're in Nashville. I feel like the conference always does much better, whether it's from attendance to content to presentations, the sessions. I feel like it's always like better. Do you think that, or is it just me kind of feeling it that way? We're just getting, maybe it's just the year, you know?
What? There were a couple of awful COVID years.
Yeah.
With this, and I even remember, I don't remember where it was, but I went to present. I'm guessing it's 21, maybe 2021, 2020. I don't know when it was, but I remember going there, and wherever it was, there were people that had, I don't even remember, they had stickers.
Oh my God, that's right.
The sticker was like. Only mask, fist pump, give me a hug, whatever it was. And I'm
that's like,
right. Like it's color coded how you can talk to someone. It's like fake fist pump. And I went, I can't. And I thought that was gonna be the death of trade shows.
Right.
And the whole, the people that thought it was gonna be death of trade shows are the same people that thought it was going to be the death of, all right, this is the final, we've finally gotten to the point, New York City's not coming back. We play these games, but people like the shows.
Right.
They have different purposes for the shows. Like I know, like I don't love shows. I spend no time in my booth. I assume you have a booth, and I'm sure it's great, but I haven't been there yet. I'll stop by tomorrow.
I walked by your booth, and I sat with Jody and Diddy. The booth is great. We actually designed it for you, so it's fantastic.
I'm sure you did a great job.
Amazing. But there was a girl from New York Propane Gas Association. I think her name is Amy. She has tried. So that was her I was just there for a second, but that was like her sixth pass. And she's like, am I going to catch Phil? And they just kept saying to her, he's not coming to this booth. So if you want to try to catch him, go outside, as they said, go walk the hallway down here, and you're probably better off finding him.
He is, but I'm going to try to meet her. I know a couple of people try to stop by, but what I found is like today and yesterday were like speed dating days.
Yep.
And I generally don't have that. I will be on a panel or two. I'll be asked to attend a couple of meetings for some input or for my position in the company. It depends on what. But from the time I got to Nashville yesterday through your event last night was amazing. But from that time, from when I landed at 10 till 10 at night, and this morning starting at 8 o'clock breakfast, and tomorrow morning I have a 7 o'clock breakfast meeting. I haven't had a second, but it's all, what is great is I'm not walking around trying to get the highlighter to bring home for my kids anymore because they're older. That used to be a thing like, what'd you bring home from the show? Like here, like, oh, we'll play with it for a day and we'll throw it all out. So I don't do that anymore, but so many productive meetings because I think the country, the industry, whatever, I think we're at tipping points now, and there's going to be a bifurcation of success going forward because I think the people that are buying into the, really fill in the blank, I need better marketing, I need better logistics, I need better purchasing of tanks, whatever it is, people are here to learn. They're not here to walk up and down and just, meet their friends anymore. I think that's a lot of it's gone away. It's good to have a thing at night. Those things are very, very nice, but people are here with a purpose, I believe, and they're asking, I don't do sales, but I hear the buying questions. We need this. We're trying to do this on our own, we're not. Where, like I said, the guy that I referred to you this morning was, we need to know how it's going to work if we do some sort of marketing. And I went, why I'm the perfect person to ask? I don't know anything, but I'm a great resource. I know who you should go to.
Cool.
Same thing with the two meetings we had before. And like some in this company in middle of Texas, they say, well, we have this, we have that, we don't have that information. I went, that's amazing. I don't have that information either, but I know how we should approach it. And the accountant woman in the corner who's like sneaky smart, you could just tell, like she said like 3 things in the meeting, they were all brilliant, but she's not saying anything. She looks at me, she goes, we have to talk afterwards. I said, yes, because I know 60% and you know 60%, and there's some overlap, but we'll figure out together. There are issues that everybody has. They're costing issues. When you have, it's true in heating oil, it's true in propane, it's how do you cost? Well, cost is easy. It's what I paid. Not so easy. Is your cost a weighted average cost of all your inventory? Is it first in, first out? Is it last in, first out? What do you do when you're applying your hedge proceeds? So what do people do? How do you figure out what your margins are? Margins are a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
And are you okay saying I made $250,000 this month, or wait a second, did I make $65 on that delivery after the cost? I don't know what the answer is, but if you start with bad data, you're just going to end up with bad data. So long answer is the show, I think, is unpleasantly surprised because the show's been fantastic.
And I think I agree with you. Like, I feel like the people that are coming up to us aren't like, oh, hey, what do you
guys do?
Like, yeah, like that shit. Like, it's more of like, hey, you do marketing. I was trying to do this, or this other company was trying to do this for me. Like, hey, I need a website. You do those? I'm like, yep. Like, great, awesome. Here's my contact info. I'll be home in a week. I would like to talk to you before May 9th. And it's like, I haven't been to shows where it's been that intent.
The guys this morning, no website.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
You think they need a little help?
yeah. We can fix them up.
Yeah.
But no, I wanted to ask what you thought about that. Okay, so the other thing, just like on trade shows in general, and I know we have a few more coming up, throughout the year, was I feel like our industry, when I first got here, and you know probably more than I do, you've been here longer than I have, but when I first got here, this industry felt so freaking far behind when it came to tech, innovation, utilizing technology.
Right.
Like, I mean, remember, like, if someone said, like, you asked a question in a group of 100 dealers, 10 years ago, who in the room has a customer portal? You would get 20 to 22 people would only raise their hand. And they'd be like, oh, wow, you have one of those? Now it's like, you don't have one? So it's like they're waking up, I think, a little bit. But what I meant was, the companies that I think are here are they're like quality companies, and they're providing a real need for the industry.
So I would say that it's funny because propane is behind a lot of other industries, and as a comment I made yesterday, they're well ahead of heating oil.
Yes.
And the fact is,
I think they've lapped heating oil, actually.
But heating oil, but the bigger companies in heating oil are actually starting to do fantastically well because they're understanding what it takes. It's also, in some ways, it's hard to be a small propane company. It's very, it's very capital intensive.
Yep.
It's another customer. I got to spend another $2,400 on steel. Who's lending me this money? When am I getting paid back? Am I pricing it the right way? Why did I drop a 1,000-gallon tank in someone who's going to use 250 gallons? Because I had it. So you have to become better. Technology every single year is eons better than it was 3 years ago. No, going back to 1900, I'm sure. And in 3 years, we can't even imagine what's going to be in 3 years from now. But what I would echo, people are understanding they need to embrace. But what I'm sensing, and we've had some meetings with very big companies, at least for us, big companies. They've got some of our shit don't stink has gone away. It's we can do this on our own. We don't need anybody. It's not they don't need us, but they need help. They need expertise. What Bruce was saying yesterday, there were experts out there. Why do this on your own? Because by the time you're done doing it on your own, it's one of the things that we have when someone says, oh, you know what? I don't know if I need this. You have the IT guy who knows better. And you have to be, we try to be very upfront with them. We'll tell them two things. We'll say, number one, we're not your enemy. We're just here to make you better at your job. Number two, the technology that you're using today that you picked out was 100% state-of-the-art when you bought it. And now, come on, that SOB owner isn't letting you spend another 6 figures on something because what you have is good enough. I don't know if they're right or wrong, but I think you did nothing wrong. We come in peace. We very, very much come in peace. People are starting to understand that they have to do things. It's tank monitors. It used to be onboard computers, but that's gone. It's tank monitors. Everybody's got tank monitors. It's how are you using AI? It's how are you using marketing? But what I find great, and it's true probably in every single industry, is that you can't get anywhere if you don't know what you're looking for. If you don't start with you can't just say, Mr. AI, Claude, Perplexity, ChatGPT, how do I make a great propane company? You just can't do that.
That one it won't answer well.
It can't.
Yeah.
But what happens is, you can say, here are my ideas. How do I work on this? It is arguably the world's greatest assistant right now. It really is. And it can do so many things, but it has to be incorporated into other things. So the industry is embracing technology in a way that they haven't before, they're continuing with their lack of mistake of they're leaning in, they're not jumping in. And I like that very much, because when you jump in, you make a lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
You know, it's Rick Bettini years ago said to me, we were talking about tank monitors. They bought some tank monitors from us, and I don't know what the issue was. It was an integration with ads, or if it was Wi-Fi with passwords. I don't know. There was some issue early on, and and I was meeting with him, and he gave me the term, the first one over the wall gets bloody. And so we don't have that many in our industry. We have a lot of like, let me wait till everyone else in the world does it. Now let's follow along with technology, and I think it's going to be fantastic for the industry, because so one of the things I kept saying yesterday, I don't know if people heard me or not, the answer is not keep raising your prices. Can't be the answer. And when you think that's the answer, you're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, there's a threshold to the customer. Like they'll be like, I know I can, like I might not get this amazing service, like I'm used to, but I'm telling you right now, I'm not paying $30 delivery fees, and I'm not paying twice as much as I know my neighbor's paying. Like I'm sorry.
And even more so, the company has to also realize that I can make the same margin without raising my price if I operate my business better.
Yeah. Just optimize a little bit.
It's starting to, right? It's just a little bit.
Yeah. So today, like some of my chats today have been Paula Summers, she's on the lending side,
Sure.
and then I was talking with JT from Tong and Associates, he's on the M&A side, and I asked them questions like, Paula, how much more are you lending, to people to innovate their businesses with tech and software?
Yeah.
And she's like, back when I was working with Dad, before I went off on my own, maybe 5%, but she's like, of my lending, probably this year, 25 to 30% is going to be on the software and the tech side. Yeah. And JT's like, for evaluation purposes, they might be 5-7x if they have technology implemented in, and they're like 3 to 5 maybe. Like if they're still, not innovating with at least like tank monitors and onboard computers, and stuff like that. So
she's financing BOS systems. I actually had a conversation with her. It's interesting that you said that, because I spoke to her. I wonder if, someone doesn't want this ongoing fee, if they want to pay Angus or anybody else. Here's an upfront consulting fee. Here's an embedded something or other. She'd finance that. So it's the matter. You have to spend the money, and the multiples are going up. I get, because you brought up multiples, I get a little concerned about private equity chasing these deals, because
they're overpaying.
And it's not my job or anyone's job. So number one, it's like being mad at the baseball player who makes $30 million a year. You mad at him for? And someone's willing to pay it. Who knows what he's worth? Someone's willing to pay him. He's supposed to turn away. You're mad at an athlete because he's making too much money. You can't relate to him. Good for him. But so the companies that are getting the money, I don't have a problem with that. The companies that are buying companies without operational know-how, these companies don't operate themselves. And as we saw, we discussed yesterday, the average age of the operator of the business is getting older and older. There aren't new people coming into the business. You got to figure something else. My oldest son is a CPA. When he finished his master's and he got a CPA, he worked for KPMG for a couple of years before he came to work for us. And his job, what he did the first 3 or 4 years of just basic boring auditing, which was a lot of spreadsheet work, but it also included going into a silo in Okeechobee, Florida, and measuring how many feet of sugar there was in it, because you have to do physical inventories of some things and whatever their minimum sample testing is. Those jobs, those entry level, they're all done by computers now. So there's a great article in the Harvard Business Review this month or last month's Harvard Business Review, and I was talking about, all right, well, that's good. You could save a bunch of people money. It's just that for every 50 people that KPMG hires, 30 of them are gone in a year or two. 20 of them, out of the 20 people, 10 are going to become a middle manager, but 1 or 2 of them are going to become a partner in 20 years or in 10 years, whatever their timeline is. Now you're saying they're not hiring that group. You're hiring someone 3 years in with no experience. They don't know what they're doing, so you're missing all those learning experiences that computers can do. If people don't do them, they won't ever get done. Who's the next partner at KPMG? Like, where are you going to get that? And when I look at our industry also, is we should be, especially with the advent of computers and technology, people should be dying to come into our industry. We're just, you were talking about the trade schools and stuff like that. If you're 15, 16, and you're playing video games and you're probably going to go to college, what, you're going to go into medicine? Probably, I don't know. So, yeah, people need doctors. You're not going to go into research. Law, first couple of years worth of legal stuff is all done online now. It's done with computers. And I heard this years ago. What should I do? They have I think it was WCBS Radio in New York has this forum at the beginning of every single year. They ask the business leaders, and they were asking, what career should I go into? And the guy's answer was very simple. Train to do a computer scan. And this is years ago. But it's still true nowadays. Someone want to pull a hose? I don't know. Maybe they do, maybe they don't.
I mean, look at the trade stuff. I mean, these kids are getting into trade schools. Yeah, they're working for someone for a while. They're earning their stripes and stuff. They started 2 men, 3 men, businesses, HVAC businesses, and they're making $400,000 or $500,000 a year, right, and have beautiful boats and 2 houses.
Computers are never going to do that. A computer will never ever do that. So the world keeps changing. The world keeps being the same, like one of those kind of things. It's just that the opportunity you're not going to get anywhere if you're not busting your ass. You have to work really, really hard at whatever you do. Find the calling that you're interested in, not that it's a job, but you need to see young people.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's I wonder about it. I see AI as our best friend and our worst enemy, but much more of our best friend because they have the expertise. But I just think that physical jobs, and we're an industry full of physical jobs, people should be flocking to this industry.
It's not like it's extremely knowledgeable, intense. You can figure, if you pay attention and you kind of earn your stripes a little bit. How many owners that pulled hose 30 years ago are some of our best clients, because they earn their stripes along. Yeah, they work through it. So these kids that are just getting handed the ropes. First of all, there are people that are now answering to or having to answer to them. They're you don't even know shit about shit, man. And I think that's a tough thing, And if the kids going out and try something else, like you said, they're playing video games at 15 or 16, and then I'm gonna go to college and try it out. If I don't like college, I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna be in my dad's a propane business, and I'll just be the boss eventually. And
right.
It's that's not fair to the people that helped dad build that business.
And you probably won't be really, really good at it.
And you're gonna suck.
And you'll be that third generation that fails.
Yes. I want to change gears. I have 2 more things that I want to go over. So first thing, what I nerd out with you on is, so the Iran war obviously put some insane information in strain and pricing, just a gazillion different things happen. Now, I called you the other day and I was like, Phil, I need education on this, and this. How do we do this better? How do I do that better? Well, first of all, let me start with this. What are you doing personally, at Angus, and telling the other guys at Angus to be pushing to your existing clients and prospects that you guys are looking to work with on the hedging side that is just differentiating Angus?
One thing that we do immediately is we believe in a free, fair, and open sharing of information. We don't want, our model used to be a transactional model, having our trading desk and people will trade with us, and we still make, a bunch of our living there. But what we're finding is that you can trade a number of different places. So we're very much on the consultative side of things. So that's a new-ish kind of thing, to focus on the consulting. And if it leads to someone saying they'll trade with us, great. If it doesn't, or if even better, there's I'm trying to remember who said, I forgot whose quote it was, but it said that all else being equal, people like doing business with people they like. But then the second part of that is, all else being equal, people will pay more money to do business with people that they like. So all else not being equal. and that's where because
Yeah.
We'll be off the market sometimes. You always cheapest, and when you build a website, you want to be good. You don't want to be that. I'd rather be more expensive than average, but not the highest price thing. That's the space I like to belong in. But when it comes to hedging, I'm going to talk more so on the heating oil side of things than propane. So what happens is we have things that we've never seen before. We have things that we've seen a bunch of times before. We have never seen the Strait of Hormuz close. We've never seen the United States attacking, I'll call it a sovereign nation. We haven't seen Iran going out and becoming unfriendly to their fellow Arab nations. So forgetting where you are on the political side of just war, not just war, and I'm very much on the side of just war, only because we shouldn't be scared about an international waterway being closed. We shouldn't be scared about state-sponsored terrorism. I mean, that stuff shouldn't exist in our world. So we're seeing blockages, we're seeing supply concerns that we haven't had before, and I don't think that we're done. So I don't know what's going to be with the war, but at some point in time, you stop milking a cow, the cow can't produce milk anymore. You shut in oil fields, it's not like, oh, flip the switch and it's going to start going. So we've spent, and I'm sure you read the press over the last year and a half, the oil surplus. Everyone's expecting this oil surplus. All right, well, that ain't happening. We never really bought into it because we didn't see it. We just kept seeing people talking about the oil surplus. The oil surplus never materialized. And you can't talk about an oil surplus under the rubric of because the demand is going to slow down or the economies of the world are going to be bad. It's one of my pet peeves that you can actually couch almost any conversation along lines of, well, with the economy being the way that it is, I don't even know what the hell that means. Is it good? Is it bad? But that's everybody's excuse for, well, the economy, give me whatever. So I think demand is very, very stable. I think data centers are going to drive up demand and energy is energy. You don't separate out propane from natural gas from electricity. There are BTUs in there and they all need to be consumed. When it comes to oil, there's not as much as there was supposed to be. There are things that are shut in. And what you're seeing is, I don't want to call it a repeat that will keep perpetuating itself, but what happened when Russia attacked Ukraine? Prices spiked. And if you think about futures prices, there's a correlation between each month. And the basic idea is that if oil for the next month costs so much more than oil for this month, I'm going to buy a lot of it now because it's going to be more expensive next month. That's pretty easy. As a matter of fact, I can guarantee myself to make money. I can fill up now and sell a forward contract and lock in the difference. That's what people did during the pandemic. When prices collapsed, you filled up your storage, you sold a futures contract, you guaranteed yourself a profit margin. When the opposite happens and there's a short-term price spike like we're seeing now, and I don't know how short-term it'll be, and prompt prices go to a big premium to deferred prices, May futures are more expensive than June futures. Spot is more expensive. Well, then there's not only zero incentive to fill up storage, there's a disincentive because you own a shrinking asset. You literally own molecules that will be worth less tomorrow. So what do you do with that? Well, the first thing I do is I make sure my inventory is empty and I keep buying spot. But now I have empty inventory and I, like everybody else, has to buy spot. It kind of builds upon itself. So what happened back when Russia attacked Ukraine, that it's only going to be a few weeks, now we're 4 years plus into it, prices spiked, people took a breath. And that happened in the spring, just like it happened here. Then if you recall, in the fall of 2022, just 4 years ago, prices spiked again. But along with spiking prices, and this is part of the answer that has to be understood, is that it wasn't just that the NYMEX went up. We do not have in our industry anyone who brings their truck to the exchange and fills up. The exchange is an index.
Yeah.
For all intents and purposes. You can stand for delivery. You can buy a futures contract and accept delivery of that product. You can do that. Almost no one does it. It is done. Almost no one does it. But there's this price for oil at a point in time in the future. But while that's going on, there's physical product all over the place, and we are seeing more of a disconnect between the physical price of oil and the futures price than we have seen. And what's compounding that is that the NYMEX contract, ultra low sulfur diesel, the physical contract if you're in New York State or Connecticut or Rhode Island, there's a bio component in there. There are RINs to be considered. It's not this just simple heating oil, diesel fuel. It's not that. So you have all these little things that are screwing people up, but you also have empty inventory. So one of the things that we're looking at, the two main things that we're looking at, I would say, is that if you haven't offered a price cap before, you'd be a fool not to. Because if you don't have a price cap and customers realize that they just paid $6.50 a gallon for delivery in Long Island, they're looking for something better next year. So if you don't offer a cap, someone's
Well, I don't
going
think it's
to.
just Long Island, right? I mean, they.
No,
Oh yeah. Sorry,
I just saw Long Island prices today.
Yeah.
I'm not picking on Long Islanders. But
So I mean, don't make us. We will pick up. Long
yeah.
Islanders.
But no, if you see prices so what happens is prices spike. Customers are going to look around. What we talked about yesterday is that there's going to be a feeding frenzy,
Right.
and it's already started. People are looking around. They don't, on a conscious level, feel that they were screwed by the oil dealer. You and I both know that they were not screwed by the oil dealer, but there's still that, wait a second, you're charging $4? And my neighbor, I just got a $6 bill. It's a lot. It's not 10 cents or 20 cents. People aren't going anywhere for 10 or 20 or 30 cents. There's a lot of comfort when you have low volatility, you have low churn. It doesn't mean the companies are acting any better. It doesn't mean the service is better. It doesn't mean there are no runouts. I didn't get any shock. We're in shock mode right now.
Yeah.
So you need to offer a price cap. One of the best things about offering a price cap is because the deferred price is so much lower. You know, January futures prices are about, I don't know where we are at this moment, but they're about $1 a gallon cheaper than today's prices, which means that you could say to someone, I'm going to cap your price for the next 12 months at a price $1 a gallon less than today's price. When do you get to buy something at $1 less for the next year? I need you to give me $20 a month to be on this price cap program. That's going to be the cost of the premium. You pass it through however you want to do your hedging. So number one is you got to offer a program. Number two is you have to more than ever figure out how you're hedging that program. And the basis differential, the actual supplier differential, if your cost of supply is not indexed in some way, shape, or form to your method of hedging, you'll usually be fine. You really usually will be fine. But when it blows out, like unfortunately, we have some clients that, whether they hedge with us or not, it's not, our hedging isn't better than someone else's hedging, but we have some clients that in late January and into early February, when there was a mini basis blowout, they delivered capped gallons. They were hedged. They delivered capped gallons and they had a net loss. Because the team...
That's a tough day at the office for them. I mean, that just is you know...
It was crazy. The combination...
They think they did everything right, you know what I mean? And just to go and be like, shit, man. Like,
the combination of the basis blowout and the delivery costs and the overtime and the extra gallons that were perhaps not even hedged at all, then the basis blowout. So you got this piece of paper that's good. It's if you had a choice between hedging Merc or hedging basis, hedge Merc all the time.
Right.
But for what can be pennies on the dollar, to not have that protection, I think is a terrible mistake. So we're pushing those two. You got to do the price cap. Hedge it any way you want. Don't care. Just, you got to do that. You have to track it. Don't forget about the basis. Those are the two key things that we're looking at on the hedging side.
So for the price cap, so now I want to get into just my world, where our worlds intersect, I should say.
Okay.
We have clients traditionally that, you know, we're getting ready to start their price protection marketing right now.
Yeah.
You know, and then we have what I call the late bloomers. And all of a sudden in August, like, all right, I'm ready to go. And I'm like, oh God, like, and you think you're like done, you know, at the year, and all of a sudden we're back doing it again in August.
Well,
which
I
is
have
fine.
to interrupt you. That is far better than maybe the share won't offer a cap, or like, I don't really know, or the timing isn't right. I'm hearing so when should I come out with my program? When did you come out of the program in the last 10 years? Oh, May. Said that May. Yeah, but the price is so high. Okay.
But your customers expect it in May, right? Like that's
what a price to go up. Like, are you asking me what price you're going to do? Because I'll never answer you.
Yeah. So I asked you this before, you know, and then you said that there is a way to kind of hedge it and stuff, and we don't need to get into the gritty details. But do you think people are gonna, if you had a gun to your head and you had to answer the question, are people gonna wait a little bit this year? Like, if there was a year to wait and not grow out in the same time frame you've gone on the last 10 years, is this the year to wait?
No. It's just a simple no, because because what you're saying is, on any given day, if you look at statistics back to the beginning of time, where prices are today, it's a 50-50 chance they go up or go down from there.
Crapshoot.
So what are you going to do? Do I think that things are going to get better? Yes. Do I think that the war is going to resolve itself? Yes. But let's keep one thing in mind. Today, the price of heating oil might be pushing up towards $4 a gallon. But I'm not the only person that thinks that things are going to be okay next winter, and they might not be worse. They might not be better. They might be much, much worse. But the market already has factored in that next winter prices are $3. It knows. It knows the future based upon the available information today. So what am I gaining? That's really where the issue is. Okay, so what's the last question? Then I have something interesting to tell you about AI. But get.
If you and I owned a propane business,
Yeah.
knowing what I know on like the marketings and some of the operational stuff, knowing what you know on like the pricing sides and on the operation sides as well, what are we doing first?
First thing we are doing is getting customers on all right, we're going to, if it's propane, first thing we're doing is we're pushing as much as we can to have company-owned tanks.
Yep.
Second thing we're doing is we're taking a look, and we should be in the service business. Third thing we're looking at, and these could be closely following each other. The next thing we're looking at is getting as many people as possible on a budget plan.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, as you're doing each of these, you're explaining to them exactly why it benefits them, even though it benefits the company. And then you're putting in a pricing program. And what you're really making sure is that those three legs that I speak about sometimes of service contract, budget plan, and pricing program, you stagger them. You have, crazy as it sounds, you have your service contract expire in January, because nobody wants to be in the middle of the winter without a service contract. That's a freebie for me, okay? You like that?
You guys got all that? Because I've heard of that once before, and no one will do it because they're so scared.
Frickin' do it. What? People are not going to have a service contract?
No, they think that that's like
They're
a bad time.
overwhelmed?
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, it's a bad time for the customer to cancel.
Well, remember.
But hold on. The other two, your budget plan starts in May.
Yeah.
Because you want your cash flow year round.
Of course.
Your pricing program starts in September.
So it doesn't affect your cash flow too much. Yeah, all right, I see it.
But the real secret is, customers will want to leave at some point in time. But if they have all three of those, whenever they leave, they're under contract for the other two. It's another way to make it hard for them to leave. That's the way I would set it up.
So my only thing is that I just question a little bit on the service contract side, just because that's good residual stuff. It's good residual.
You let them know ahead of time. You don't say, oh, by the way, your service contract is expired. You let them know way ahead of time.
Do we have a rolling cap though, like that people can
I like
enter?
rolling cap.
Okay, perfect.
All right,
so
so
we're on the same
you can opt in at any point in time.
All right, Phil, we could own the propane on days.
Yeah,
all right, so at the end of this, I always, whoever I'm chatting with, I tell them, ask me anything, because I feel like I'm just sat here and peppered everyone for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It can be personal, it could be work related, hobbies, industry related. You can ask me anything, and I force myself to answer.
Mine is I'm a work related guy. I'm at a crossroads professionally where I'm not sure how much to leverage myself personally, involving myself in the analytics or on the consulting, because I'm big at a big picture. I'm good at granular, suck at everything in between. Like I'd be the world's worst middle manager, but I don't know what to do with my time. So now that you've learned to know me, where's Phil Baratz's time best spent?
Well, it's a tough answer, because knowing you and knowing, the things that you do enjoy, analytics is like literally kind of like your foundation, right? Like that's where you've had a lot of your career has been there and stuff like that. But that foundational piece of analytics and numbers and being able to crunch all of those things now has put you in a position where you can consult and maybe pay a little attention to that stuff still, but you can consult better than probably anyone, because you're like, there's nothing I really haven't seen at this point, because I've crunched numbers that no one would ever have crunched, because I'm looking for certain data points and solvents and stuff like that. So I would say that
it's more of
you've had your you've had your run on the analytics, and of course you're going to dabble back in there because it's just what you do, but you're ready.
I gotta get in front of people.
You're ready for the consulting side. And Phil, that is not going out to pasture. That's just the next step. You know, and it's awesome to think that you have that much experience where people will be like, oh, Phil's coming in to consult. Like, a smarter man than me told me that when there's a finance meeting, like 3 people show up. When there's like a strategic or marketing meeting, the whole fucking company shows up.
Right.
So I feel like that pertains just like to you. Like when they're like, oh, like the accountants are coming or whatever. No one wants to come. Phil's coming to talk to us about some bigger picture structure.
It's like that.
Picture stuff.
The webinar that we did, the webinar that we did, that we were expecting 18 people and we had over 100 people.
Yeah, exactly. Same thing.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Phil, thank you so much. This was awesome. I always enjoy our chats. Perfect.
Same here. Thank you.